I used to be a night watchman for a logging company. They owned a stretch of forest 20 miles outside town. Thick pine that went on forever. My job was simple. Sit in the trailer office overnight, keep an eye on the security cameras, and make sure no one was trespassing. It was easy money, or at least I thought so. The worst part, I figured, would be the boredom. I was wrong. The forest doesn't get quiet out there. It gets empty. Like sound itself refuses to stay. Even the wind feels muffled. By my third night, I stopped playing music because I realized I was straining to hear something else. The cameras were motion activated, black and white feeds that cut in whenever something moved. Usually it was deer, raccoons, the occasional drunk hunter stumbling through. But one night, around 2:30 a.m., camera 4 flickered on. It showed the tree line at the northern edge of the property. Something was standing just inside the trees. At first I thought it was a person, but it was too tall. 7, maybe 8 feet. Thin, perfectly still. The resolution was grainy, but I could see its head tilt slowly, like it was looking directly at the camera. And then it smiled, not with lips or teeth, with its whole face stretching wide, warping. The image fuzzed, the feed cut out. I told myself it was a glitch, old equipment, nothing to worry about. The next night, it happened again. Different camera, different spot. Same thing, tall figure, just inside the tree line, watching, always smiling, that impossible smile. By the 5th night, I stopped checking the cameras unless the motion alert went off. I didn't want to see it anymore, but ignoring it didn't help, because soon it wasn't just on the cameras. I was sitting at the desk when I heard footsteps on the gravel outside the trailer. Slow, deliberate crunches. My throat tightened. I killed the light, sat in the dark, listening. The footsteps circled the trailer once, then stopped outside the door. I didn't breathe, didn't move. The door handle rattled once, twice, then silence. When I worked up the courage to look at the monitors, every camera was on, all 12, and in each one, standing at the very edge of the frame, was the figure, dozens of them, the same shape, the same height, same smile. That was the first night I left before my shift ended. The company threatened to fire me, but I didn't care. I told them the cameras were broken, that there was something wrong with the system. They didn't believe me, of course, but I wasn't about to tell them what I'd really seen. Still, I needed the job. I went back. The next week was worse. Now it wasn't just the cameras. I'd catch glimpses out the window, between the trees, across the gravel lot, reflected in the glass. Always too far to make out clearly. Always just watching. Then came the whispers. At first, I thought it was the radio, a low, static-filled murmur just at the edge of hearing. But when I unplugged the radio, the whispers didn't stop. They grew clearer. They said my name. Sometimes they sounded like my mother. Sometimes like friends I hadn't spoken to in years. Sometimes like voices I didn't recognize at all. One night, I fell asleep at the desk. I woke to the sound of the door creaking open. I shot up, heart pounding, and saw the trailer door swinging inward. The night beyond was black, but something was standing just outside. I couldn't see its face, only its silhouette, massive and wrong, filling the doorway, and then it ducked, as if it were about to step inside. I slammed the door and locked it, shoving the desk in front of it, praying the thin walls would hold. For hours, I sat there, listening as the trailer groaned and shifted, as if the whole structure were being leaned on. Sometimes I swore I saw the walls bowing inward. When dawn finally came, everything was back in place. The desk was where it had been. The door was closed. The cameras showed nothing. I quit that morning, packed my bag, and never went back. But quitting didn't matter, because whatever I saw in those woods, it followed me. I see it outside my apartment sometimes, reflected in windows, caught at the edge of mirrors. Tall, thin, smiling too wide. Last night, I woke to the sound of my door unlocking. I don't know how much longer I have. So if you're still listening, if you made it this far, don't ignore this. Don't go into the forest at night. Don't take the easy night shift job. And don't look too long at the trees when you think you're alone. And if you want more stories like this one, subscribe. Because the next time I tell a story, it might be from the other side of the camera. When I was 21, broke and desperate, I rented a room in a crumbling farmhouse on the edge of town. The ad said it was peaceful and private, and it was both. Too much so. The landlord, an old man with clouded eyes, gave me the key and said something strange before he left. Keep your window closed after midnight. Doesn't matter how hot it gets. Keep it shut. I laughed, thought he was just superstitious. The window in my room was warped anyway. The kind you had to shove with your whole shoulder to slide open. It faced the overgrown field behind the house. Nothing but tall grass and a crooked line of trees. The first week was uneventful. I worked late shifts at a gas station, came home around 1 a.m., crashed into bed. But on the 7th night, as I was drifting off, I heard it, a whistle, high-pitched, almost playful. At first I thought it was the wind through the grass, but it came in bursts, rising and falling, deliberate, like someone trying to get my attention. I sat up in bed and listened. The whistle came again, closer this time. I shuffled to the window and peered out. The field looked empty, nothing but shadows swaying in the moonlight. Still, I slid the lock into place. The next night, same thing. I heard the whistle, faint but steady, threading through the dark like a needle. And the weirdest part, it matched my movements. When I shifted in bed, it changed pitch. When I held my breath, it went silent, waiting. I didn't sleep at all. On the third night, I stayed up on purpose. Around 2:15, right when the sound usually began, I heard something new, the creak of the window frame. I froze. The lock was still in place, but the glass shuddered in its frame, as if invisible fingers were testing it from outside. I backed away slowly, and then came the voice. It wasn't loud, barely more than a whisper, but it was right against the glass. Let me in. It's cold. I bolted for the door. Spent the rest of the night sitting in the hallway with the lights on. The next morning, I confronted the landlord. He didn't look surprised, just sighed, rubbed his temples, and muttered, "It starts with the whistling." "What is it?" I demanded. He looked at me then, his eyes pale and wet. "Don't call it it. They don't like that. Just keep the window closed. That's all you can do." That night, I pushed my dresser in front of the window. Didn't matter. At 2:15 sharp, the whistle came. Louder now, impatient, rising and falling until my head throbbed. And the voice again, clearer this time. "You're awake. I see you. Come closer." The glass rattled so violently, I thought it would shatter. Something brushed the edge of the frame, pale and thin, like a hand flattened against the window pane. Only there were too many fingers. I didn't sleep for the rest of the week. My eyes burned, my skin prickled, but I was too terrified to even blink sometime. Every night, 2:15, whistling, voice, fingers. By the 10th night, exhaustion got the better of me. I passed out at my desk and woke to a sound that turned my blood cold. The window sliding open. I turned, heart in my throat. The dresser was pushed aside. The window stood wide open, curtains billowing in the warm night air. And someone, or something, was halfway inside. Its body was stretched, elongated, skin gray and glistening like wet clay. Its face was wrong, too smooth, features shifting like they couldn't decide where to settle. Its mouth opened wide, wider than any human should, and it let out a perfect whistle. I ran out of the room, down the stairs, out the front door, barefoot into the gravel drive. I didn't stop running until sunrise. When I returned, the landlord was gone. His office was stripped bare, no trace he'd ever lived there. My room looked the same, except the dresser was still shoved aside, the window open. On the floor was something new, a Polaroid photo. It showed me sleeping at my desk, head on my arms, and in the reflection of the window behind me, that thing was smiling. I never went back. I left my stuff, everything I owned. But sometimes, when I'm walking home late at night, I hear it again. A whistle, faint, playful, threading through the dark. And sometimes, when I check my phone, I find new photos in my gallery. Pictures of me asleep, taken from the corner of the room. So if you ever rent a room in an old house and the landlord tells you not to open a window, don't laugh. Don't test it, because once it finds you, it never really leaves. And if you want more stories like this one, you know what to do. Subscribe before the next whistle comes from your window.